Let me introduce you to Glacier, a new shawl pattern from Karen Hooley Designs. Originally inspired by the colors of Lake McDonald in Glacier National Park, Montana, Glacier is a fast and fun shawlette to crochet. Work the main field in an easy to memorize 4-row repeat from end to end. Then you'll add a simple yet complex looking edge in a coordinating color. The banded style allows for an easy to wear piece such as a cowl, tied scarf, or simple shawlette. The colors and options are endless. Let's get started. Okay, before we get started, I wanted to tell you about the supplies you are going to need in order to make Glacier. Now, Glacier was made with a sock set from Nanette Wake Studio in the colorway Lake McDonald. It was a sock set that was designed for a mystery kit that she did in November of 2022, and I designed the pattern for that kit. That colorway is no longer available, at least as of this moment at the recording of this video. However, I wanted to show you what a sock set is. So this is another one of Nanette's sock sets. This is her colorway Westport, which was actually from the October 2022 kit. Now, I don't believe this colorway is available in her shop at the moment, but never say never. It may end up turning up at some point, but right now, as of this recording, it is not there. But a sock set is really just a full hank of a sock weight yarn, usually around 400 to 450 yards, and then a mini skein in a contrasting color that's usually around 20 grams, which is usually about 80 to 85 yards of fingering weight yarn. So if you have those weights, or those lengths, I should say, in your stash of a full hank and a mini skein, then you will be good to go as long as you know they're the colors that you want to use. So that's the yarn you need. You need a size E crochet hook, which is what I've got here. Now, remember with my patterns, that's the size I use to get gauge. If you need to use a different size to get gauge, you can go ahead and do that. This is a recommendation. It's a starting point for you. So if you are too tight or too loose, be comfortable in knowing what your tension is and increasing the hook size or decreasing the hook size depending on what you need. Okay, so now you also need a pair of scissors. The scissors are there for cutting the yarn and changing colors and stuff like that. So that's something that's always a staple. And then you'll need just a single removable stitch marker. I like using lightweight stitch markers so it doesn't weight down my fabric as I'm crocheting, but you can use whatever stitch marker you like. You just need one though. So let's get started with the shawl. Okay, we're ready to get started with the main field of the shawl. So the first thing we're going to do is start with a slip knot on our hook, which I've already done. If you don't know how to do a slip knot, make sure to watch my video, which I'm going to link here, on how to make slip knots. I have 3 ways of doing them. And then you're going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to do your stitches in the 4th chain from the hook, which is the one closest to the slip knot. So this one right here. And we're going to do a double crochet. And then chain 1. And then double crochet. And that's the end of row 1 once I finish this double. And what you will see here is that we have actually 3 double crochets because those skip chains that we did here count as a double crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3 double crochets. And then you can see right here, we have a hole, and that's your chain 1 space. So let's move on to row 2. Row 2 says to chain 3 first and turn. And then you're going to skip that first double crochet and you're going to go right to the chain 1 space. So you're going to double crochet in that chain 1 space, So the chain 3 counts as the first double crochet right on the top of the last double crochet of the previous row. And then you have a second double crochet that's in that chain 1 space. Then you're going to chain 1 and you're going to skip the next double crochet, which is right here. And then you're going to do 2 double crochets in the turning chain. So you're going to find the top of that chain and you're going to, there we go. You're going to do 2 double crochets in that. 1, 2. Okay. So now we have 4 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 chain 1 space. So let's move on to row 3. Row 3 says to chain 3 and turn. So 1, 2, 3, and turn. And then we're going to double crochet in the first double crochet, which is this first one right here. So we're not going to skip a double crochet here. And then we're going to chain 1 and we're going to skip this double crochet. And then we're going to do a double crochet in the chain 1 space. And in the next 2 double crochets. 1, 2, and you'll see now we actually have 5 double crochets at the end of row 3. So there's the turning chain is 1, and then there's 2, and then there's the chain 1 space, and then there's 3, 4, and 5. So that's the end of row 3. Now I know it's hard to see here on the camera. As it gets bigger, you'll be able to see the stitches a little bit better, but this is the start of our shawl. Let's move on to row 4. So first thing you're going to do is chain 3 and turn. And then in row 4, because it's row 4, every even row, the chain 3 that we just made counts as a stitch. So that means we're going to skip this first stitch. So we're going to skip the first stitch and we're going to double crochet in the next 2 stitches. And then we're going to also double crochet in the chain 1 space. Okay, and then we're going to chain 1, and now we're going to skip the first double crochet and we're going to do 2 double crochets in the turning chain. So what's happening here? I don't know if you're getting a pattern here. So what you should see here now at the end of row 4 is we have 6 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at the end, and then a chain 1 space. Now let's do row 5. Okay, so now we're moving on to row 5. Now row 5 is where we start to get some eyelets going. So first thing we're going to do is chain 3 and turn, and then we're going to work into the first double crochet. And before we go farther, I just want to clarify something right here. You can see as we keep going, on one side of the chain 1 space, there's always just going to be 2 stitches, and on the other side, every row is going to increase by 1 stitch. And so this side time, we're going to do a chain 1 for that space. We're going to do a double into that chain 1 space. So that creates the chain 1 and the two stitches on this case, it's on the right hand side. Now we're going to chain 1 here. This is where we get different. We're going to skip the first double crochet after the chain 1 space. So skip the next one, double crochet into the next one, chain 1, skip the double crochet, and then we're going to do our last double crochet in the turning chain. So as soon as I finish this, for row 5, we're going to see we still have our 2 here. Now remember, on row 4 we only had 4 stitches here. Now if you think about it, we have 5. So here's 3 double crochets, which are the first 3 stitches, and then 2 chain 1 spaces. And those 2 chain 1 spaces are stitch 4 and stitch 5. Now, if you're going to get confused on these eyelet stitches, I recommend taking your stitch marker and putting it into the chain 1 space that's next to the 2 double crochets right here. If you can remember that there's always 2 on one side and there's more stitches on the other, then you don't need to use the stitch marker. I'm one of those people who doesn't need the stitch marker, but I wanted to give you that tip so that if you do get confused, you can use that stitch marker there. Okay, so now we've got our eyelet row there, and that's the end of row 5. So let's move on to row 6. So row 6 says chain 3 and turn. All of our rows are chain 3 and turn. We're going to skip the first double crochet. We're going to double crochet in the next chain 1 space. Then we're going to double crochet in the next double crochet. Then we're going to double crochet in the next chain 1 space. We're going to double crochet in the next double crochet. And then we're going to double crochet in the next chain 1 space. Now we're out of chain 1 spaces, so this is what should tip you off that the next stitch is going to be a chain 1, and then you're going to skip the next double and you're going to work the last 2 double crochets in the turning chain. So 1, 2. So now at the end of row 6, we stopped doing eyelets. We were doing a solid double crochet row now. So we should have 6 double crochets on this row before the chain 1 space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, chain 1, and then 2 doubles. That's the end of row 6. Now here is row 7. We're going to chain 3 and turn. Okay, then we're going to not skip this time. We're going to do a double crochet in the first one. Then we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to do a double crochet in the first stitch, or we're going to do a double crochet in the chain 1 space, and then in each double crochet across to the end. So now on this left side of the chain 1 space, you are going to see that we have 7 double crochets. Now I'm going to give you a little tip here. As soon as I get this last double crochet done, sometimes it's hard to get into the top of that turning chain, and I made that too tight. There we go. Okay, so I made that too tight, but I'm going to show you a little tip here on how to know what row you're on. Okay, so remember I said on one side of the chain 1 space, you're going to have 2 stitches, and the other side, you're going to continue to increase. So we're in row 7. We just finished row 7. So now there should be 7 double crochets on the side that increases. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's a tip on how to figure it out. Now the row with the eyelets was row 5. So remember, here's the chain 1 space, here's the 2 stitches, here's the chain 1 space. So now there should be 5 stitches here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Okay, so the next thing is rows 8 through 59. So rows 8 through 59 are repeating rows 4 through 7. So you're going to do that 13 times to make the shawl the size I did it. If you want to increase the number of rows or increase the wingspan of your shawl, you can do more rows past row 59. So if you wanted to increase 4 rows, so you could just keep doing rows 4 through 7 till it's half the width you want the shawl to be. Now in this case, my shawl is 56 inches, so I did half of 56, which my math is not working right now. That is 23 inches, and then I started decreasing to make it smaller on the other side. I wanted to let you know that I'm going to do another few rows here just to get us to a point where you guys can see what's happening. So row 8 is actually a repeat of row 4, which you are skipping the first double and you're working in each double all the way across. So on this side, now we are going to have 8 stitches. Now, one thing I should mention here is when I say right and left side, I'm right-handed, and so I'm doing things, counting my right and my left. But if you're left-handed, instead of having the stitches be 8 here on this side, on the right-hand side, it's going to be on your left, and I apologize for that. I'm going to try not to say that much more often, but if I do make that mistake, I wanted to let you know that's what's going on here. Okay, so we've got 8 double crochets. We did our chain 1. We're going to skip the next double, and we are going to do our last double, or last 2 doubles in the top of the turning chain. So at the end of this row, on one side of your chain 1 space, you should have 8 stitches. On the other side, you have 2. Now we're going to chain 3 and turn for the next row, which is row 9. But if in the repeat, it's a repeat of row 5. So this is another eyelet row. So I wanted to make sure I did another eyelet row for you. So we're going to not skip this time because we've got our turning chain. This is the side with the 2 stitches. So we're going to work in the very first stitch, a double crochet. We're going to chain 1. We're going to do a double crochet in the chain 1 space. Then we're going to chain 1, and we're going to double crochet into the next double crochet, or you're going to skip 1 and then do a double crochet in the next one. And we're going to chain 1, skip a double, and then double crochet in the next one. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next one. Chain 1, skip 1, and do our last double crochet in the top of the turning chain. So there you have the next eyelet row. So I'm going to show you something here. So this is row 9. We have our 2 double crochets before the first eyelet here, and then we should have 9 stitches going across. So we're going to do that count again. So first I count my double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 double crochets, and 1, 2, 3, 4 chain 1 spaces between the doubles. So that makes 9 stitches. So we're on row 9, and that makes 9 stitches. Now the other thing I want to note is that you'll notice here's row 5 and then row 9. So every 4th row here in this case is going to be an eyelet row. So you're going to have an eyelet row, 3 solid rows, and then an eyelet row, and then 3 solid rows next, and then another eyelet row. And you'll always remember that you're going to be increasing, so whatever row number you're on is how many stitches you have to the increasing side of the eyelet. Now the eyelets, just on the edge here where you have the 2 double crochets, are showing you, this is making just a little hole, which makes a cool little pattern on the edge of the shawl. So every row has a little eyelet on the edge, and that'll help us later on when we're doing the edging. So now I'm gonna go ahead and shut off. I'm gonna do a few more rows here before I show you how to do the decreasing side of the shawl. And then when we come back, I'll start doing the decreasing side. See you in just a minute.